Hey everybody, I'm a little early. I hit the wrong button. So we're gonna go a little early today. All right, getting everything situated here. I didn't mean to click that button. I'm trying to get my camera set up and I clicked the wrong button. All right, let's get the chat open here. So there we go. Good things. I'll get my hair back up in the spot. Like I said, I went early. I didn't mean to. That's okay. We go over a little bit. I promise not a lot of people won't miss a ton of stuff. All right. Well, we'll start with stuff that's kind of old news. Not old news, but not as. I have an unboxing video which will go up live tomorrow, but I will start with, here is the embossing powder of the month. It's called Spellbound. I've already got it switched on. Hi, Mama. I went early. I didn't mean to. Here is what it looks like in the jar. I've already put it in my jar for my package. And this is what it looks like swatched out. It's a beautiful green with glitter. And let's see. I don't have melted. Melted is different. I'll show you the difference. See how the dark versus the light, because I need to find a new sheet of paper and I did not have time to do that tonight. So here is Popular. I will show you that in the jar. That is an add-on. And it is a clear with some glitter and pink in it, it looks like. So that one's Popular. And like I said, here's Melting. I'll show you that in the jar just because I have to swatch this one out yet. So it's a lighter green. And then we have the Unlimited Glitter Glaze, which I know Christopher showed some of this the other night. Here is Unlimited Glitter Glaze. And during my video that I'm going to have posted, I already had them, I kind of put them out. So this is what it looks like when it's dry. And then I have both the Tiara and the Oz Dust Chroma Mist. And that's what these look like when they're dry. There's the Tiara and here's the Oz Dust. And then the other consumable we got this month is the Enchanted and the Emerald Shimmer Splash. And here's the Emerald. You can see where it's kind of flicked and you can see where I drew it. And here is the Enchanted where I kind of painted it out. And then I have some of the dots too. So I have those all kind of done and swatched out. Because I went a little early, if I need to, I can go back and show them if somebody needs to later when we get there. And a quick wipe off my desk. So what I was trying to do is set up my camera right, and I hit the go live button. Well, if I cancel that, then all of the ones I already had set up for won't work. And so I just thought, I'll just go a little live. We'll go live a little early. So I'm still not unpacked from my weekend, gone last weekend. So, all right. Tonight, we are going to use the Bubbles and Broomsticks inspiration box. I do have a couple of the other items in here, but we're not using them. I just have them stored in here. These are the papers that are involved. And I am going to, I guess I don't have there's no point in having my camera on if you can't see me up in the corner here. I have, like I said, a new setup here. So we are going to use the stamp set. We may use the stencil. And I believe we're going to use the paper pad. Those are the things that we're going to use tonight. So I am going to pull them out. I am not going to go so much with the theme that this goes with, the movie, as much as using the stamps. And I'm going to go more with the pink and green vibe. So I don't know if you've seen, there is a video meme out there where the actresses go green, pink, say their names back and forth. And then, you know, they talk about one being a witch and who's a witch and blah, blah, blah. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of fun. So I thought maybe we'd just play off this color, those color scheme instead. And that way, if you get the inspiration box, but let's say this isn't your favorite thing in the world, we're going to use the bubbles and the stars to create our background. And then we'll choose a sentiment like the sky was never the limit, or our friendship defies gravity, or something like that. That way, you have other options. If you're not the theme isn't necessarily, but you're a subscription box holder or whatever. And then of course, you'll see lots of other projects from me this coming up using all the rest of the items. So here is the paper pad. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to use the paper that came in the box. So I am going to just kind of do this by the seat of my pants, measuring and cutting and everything. Now, one thing I have to find, because we're going to do I'm kind of still into fun folds. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down in half, at 5.5, and then at 5.25. Or 4.25, I'm sorry. Actually, I changed my mind. It's going to go to 4. And I should have done it 5 and 5.25. Because if we get let me grab a card base here, then we have this card base can go right on top, and we're going to have the edges here. So you can do this card, I believe, with both a top folding and a side folding card. So it might work better with a top folding. I'm going to make it with a side folding, and we're just going to put a couple of flaps in here and see how things go. So let us find some paper to work with. Hello, Cordelia. How are you this evening? I handed a little bit early, but I started a little bit early, but we really just went over some of the box. I haven't really started doing anything other than to cut down a piece of paper. So I'm going to go through and choose some papers out of here. I'm thinking I kind of want to use the colors that are the same. So I'm thinking I might do this one, and maybe we'll do this one so that they're kind of the same pattern, but yet one is bigger than the other. And same thing, you could do it this way too, but I'm kind of liking this. We could totally use this one and this one, but I think I'm going to do these two. I am doing pretty good. I am glad it's Friday and things are playing and ready to go. So we're going to cut our flaps down first. And like I said, this is totally kind of fly by the seat of my pants type of fly. What I'm going to do, a little bit of math, a little bit of measuring, if I can find my ruler. So I'm thinking for my flaps, like I said, we're going to put it on the card base after. So there's actually going to be kind of 3 flaps to this card. We're going to have the 2 flaps on the front, and then we're going to have the flap on the inside, the inside piece. But I think that's just going to be kind of the fun part of this card, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our little ruler here, and we're going to measure. And I'm going to measure on the inch side. And we're at 4 inches. I'm thinking I want my first flap to go to 3 inches. So I'm going to do 3 by 4. Okay. So we are going to use, I'm going to grab the pink. This is a beautiful pink, but if you look, this is our satin pink. And so I'm going to add a piece of pink cardstock to this because this is too pretty to cover up too much. So we'll use it. But I want to do, let's see, what color does it say? I like to use the back of my packaging. Ballerina or bubblegum. So let's see what I can find here. I have the paper. I started putting my paper away and, oops, I just hit, I think. Let's see if I've got bubblegum here. I don't know. I might have it coming on the way. Okay, I've got a pack here of the whole chromatic reserve. So we will grab a piece out. So I think what I may do is we may end up grabbing some paper from this section completely because this paper. Kind of goes with that. And I think that's the meadow. Let's see if we can find the bubble gum. Let's see here. They're not necessarily in a rainbow order. So let's see if I can find it. Bubblegum or ballerina, whichever one I find first. That's purple. That looks kind of like a lipstick. I don't know if I want that one. Oh, here, let's see. This is the other green. So there's a little bit of difference. I'm thinking we're going to, and I do have the sheet, but I haven't swatched them all out yet. All right. I'm trying to find, there we go. This looks like, I think this is the bubblegum because it looks like it's the darker of the two. I think that's the right one. Let me see. I found my little swatch here. I had it hiding here. I think this might be the Wizard release though. Yeah. So I have this little cheat sheet that I have here. And I think I'm going to go with this one. I think that one's the meadow. And then the ballerina. Yes, those are the two I'm going to use. Okay, see? And I think I want to do that because, and then we're going to use this, which I think this is some poison apple that was still in stock. So they still have it. It matches really well. That's going to be part of our base. That's going to give us a third color. So I said 3x4. So I am going to cut this in half first, just because for me, it makes sense to cut it in half. Because then I have a piece that I can cut down to card panel size if I want. And then I'll cut this one down to 3. And then I'll cut it down to 4. So hopefully if I finish I have 2 more shelves to build this weekend and 3 drawers for my my unit. Then I can start and put those things away in it. See, like, you know, here's where we got our fun card. See, now I want one to come in on this side, and it's going to be, I think we're going to make it just a little bit bigger because this is the green and I want the green on top of the pink. Then I can actually sit and actually organize everything that I have, because I have so much swatching to do. I want to get the Chromatic Reserve punched out. Okay, so I did 3. I'm going to do 3.5 this time. And then I think I'm going to do 4.5. I may change that, but I'm going to start with 4.5 because we got to do a little bit of scoring too. See, now we've got our green and our pink. Isn't that fun? And then this, and actually we wouldn't even have to use a card base. We could actually, that's not my right piece of green. There we go. We can actually just put this on a card panel and then just have this be our card. Like you could just have a front and it could be the solid, which we might still do. But we got this. So this is kind of, these are going to flap open like this, but we're going to, let's get our score marks in first before we cut our pattern paper. I haven't even unpacked because everything is still in my Misty bag. My Misty and my Score Pal. So let's get our Misty out because we're going to need that. I don't even know what else is in there, to be honest with you. I think my markers, but we're not going to do any coloring tonight. Hi, Miss Sandy. How are you? We're doing a pink and green fun fold. Kind of. So we're just going to take one of these and we're just going to do, I don't know if I want to do I'm going to do 1/2 inch. Because that's a little easier mark when we're going to cut our pattern paper down. Oh, yes. Hi, Luann. I was cutting paper. Yes, I was. And I started a hair bit early. And then this one we're going to do at 1/2 inch as well. I got to hang out with Sandy last week and craft and Sean. That was a lot of fun. We had some fun playing a little bit with some of this. Oh, I know I am. Yeah, I am totally, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I emptied 1 basket, Sandy. 1 basket. I emptied my big basket, but I didn't unpack everything. I just emptied it and kind of threw it in the bins. So I haven't done much else this week. It's been kind of a crazy week. I did get one of my shelving units put together. Tomorrow, I need to get the table's got to be moved out of here, and I can get my last 2 units in so I can get the other couple pieces of furniture over here. So here is my plan. See how this is in green, pink, green, pink. Hi, Karen. So that way, you know, I'm kind of playing with that. And we've got this dark green here, and that light green is going to come into play because we've got these pieces too. And we might still do, because we got to do some stamping and we got to do some other things too. So we'll see what we do. But let's start by our next. We're going to cut these down. Like I said, I'm just using this ruler to measure. Of course, it's weird because the inch side is on this, is on, like, to me, it's almost on the opposite side. I wish the inch was down here because it would be easier for me to read. So we're at 3. I want to, I'm just looking to see what I want. I want 3 3/8 because I have all the little measurements there. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I went over 2 tick lines. That's awesome, Sadie. I have to finish the cards that I started with, that I was playing with last year. And then on this side, we're going to go to 2 7/8. That makes that fairly simple. 2 7/8 for the green paper. So, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/8 is the one between 2 3/4 and 3. It's about halfway, and we're just going to eyeball it. We used to have a pearl chroma matte, but it is out of stock. So no, there is not a black that I know of right now. You could probably use like an opal. Mine, of course, are all in a box right now over black cardstock. Or you could use the finishing glaze over black cardstock or black ink. Okay, so we've got this one. See how it is? So we've got this one. So now we got to do this one. And of course, I forgot my measurements already because I was talking. So this one needs to be 3 3/8. So 3 1, 2, 3 is going to be the halfway between the 1/4 and the half, right? The thing is that these little ones aren't marked, so sometimes you have to cut over a little bit, and that's sometimes can. So there we go. Look at that, perfect little edges around. So that'd be that one, and then this one. Yeah, glitter glaze. And I said, like, there's a finishing glaze and but the black glitter glaze, the opal, which I know was out of stock, but they were going to get some more in. That's the black pearl, like I said, is out. It was discontinued, so unfortunately. All right, so this one is 4, so we're going to go down to 3 7/8. Hopefully I remember that. By 3 3/8. 3 7/8. By 3 3/8. I thought that's the one I feel like that's what we just measured, but we'll see. I got extra paper if I cut it wrong. All right, let's check, see how I did. Look at that. The handy dandy ruler is making it perfect. So perfect. We could probably cut a little bit more off if you wanted a little bit more pink. I'm kind of thinking I do. So I might go to the 1/4 inches just because I rather have it cut a little longer and then find that I want it. And then I want to see a little bit more of that pink. So I like that a little bit better. Yeah, I was just talking about this one is, this is the new glitter glaze, and I got it the other day, and I am loving it. I just haven't had a chance to use it. I got it swatched out. Just a little bit of it. It's not super thick. So I want to just play with some glitter glazes. It's been a while, I feel like, since I played with glazes. Maybe if I get everything done that I need to get done. I have samples I need to make and stuff to put away. And I might need to go to work for my boss for a little bit tomorrow if he has to get out of town, which is fine. It will only take about 20 minutes. Take Pup for a walk, because that's what he'll want. Probably get up early and go, because, you know, it was so nice out today. It was beautiful. I am going to use a little bit of Terran tape type for my flaps, just because. And one of the reasons I like to cut this down 1/4 of an inch-ish smaller, which is going to give me that little bit border around, is because when I do that tiny, tiny little, like 1/8 of an inch border, I tend to not be able to glue it on straight. See, now got this and we've got this. And now this is where you can make your decision. You can go up higher and lower. You can go straight on. You could go this way and have the flaps. So you can do this however you want. And I just kind of measured and guesstimated by the measurements. I can write them down and put them in the description box, you know, or post them. I'll put it up. I have a new blog that I've been working on. I don't believe it's down below. Yes, that sounds, yes. That way you can see which ones you have and which ones you need to order. But it's always nice to have the measurements. But sorry, I got distracted. Like I said, I have a new blog. I don't know if I pull it up here. I can try if you guys give me a second. Like I said, I went a little early tonight, so I got to move my cup out of the way. Let's see if I can get to it. Oh, okay, gotta spell it wrong. Sugarcards by Candi, WordPress.com. I'm gonna just copy and paste that. So if you would like, I will definitely get this up this week. Yeah, I am too, Sandy. I do have a newsletter option where you can sign up to get new. If you click on that, up on the right-hand side, there is a menu which has affiliate links of mine if you are interested. But it also gives you the option to subscribe, and so you can get an update in your email when I do a new post. And that is where I'm going to start putting my let me get this out of the way. When I do post my photos, I'll still share my social media, but I'll have more details with links to everything on my blog. So if you're interested in that, that is my blog for that. I just restarted it. I've signed up for a couple of hops, and that's the easiest way it's going to be for me to let people know that I'm doing things. Okay, so I cut a piece of Not Your Mama's down to A2 side. Instead of a card front, we're just going to use this. Okay, and then we're going to put this down, and then we're going to put these behind it. So we need some tape. I'm just going to grab some Terran tape. So I did link in the description box some of the items I'm using tonight. Those are affiliate links, which just mean that I get a little bit of a commission if you place an order using my links. So I did want to say that. So tomorrow when I get done with Fletch, I will get my unboxing video done and upload it. I'll probably edit it tonight in bed just because I have to make sure it's all put together. And then I can start uploading it, which I'll have the unboxing video. I have some of the other subscription items as well that you can see in that video. All right. So I just added a little bit of Terran tape. Like I said, we're doing pink and green. So I'm just going to put this one straight kind of in the center. I'm just going to eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm just going to fold it over. And there we go. We've got that. Now this, I've already taken my piece off. As I said, you could do a flap here, but I'm going to do kind of a flap on both sides is what I think I want to do. And I'm going to center it again. So I'm just going to, because I already taken the tape off. And then just going to put it in, and then we've got that. Okay, so here is our fun fold. Whoop, whoop. Now we can have some more fun. We can put some more pattern paper on these sides, which would make it more fun and thing. And you can, this is light enough that you can write on it. We're going to put our sentiment on here. But I think instead of doing this, and we could have done this before, let's do some stamping on here. Okay. So before I put this on this piece, we're going to put this in our Misty. I'm going to use my big Misty. And what I think is going to be fun is I'm going to just put this in my Misty using, I'm going to put this in the corner, and we're going to use this piece here. It's okay that it flops out the other side. I don't need to even bend that over. We're just going to plop this piece down to hold this in place. I'll put a little one here. What I'm going to do is, in my opinion, when I look at this, I think of the bubbles to go with the pink, and I think the stars to go with the green. I don't know why. That's just kind of how I think about it. So we're going to do the opposite, because, you know, our little pink girl, you know, floats in a bubble. So we're going to do kind of the opposite of it. And we could do the popular embossing powder. However, since it's a clear with a pink glitter in it, I don't know how much we're going to see it as much on the green. So I'm just going to grab some of the bubbles. Now, like I said, you could have totally stamped this in before you put this down, but I'm going to go ahead and just do it this way. I think it's kind of a fun surprise. And that was all the bubbles. Okay. And I'm just going to grab an ink here. I'm going to grab Later Gator. Okay. And I haven't ordered his new ones yet. I need to order those. Maybe there'll be a Black Friday sale. Not a Black Friday sale, but a Black Friday purchase. And we're just going to go ahead and pop. So it's going to be color on color. You could do Versamark. We could have done the Spellbound embossing powder on the bubbles, and the popular on the stars. Oops. Oh, that was almost a catastrophe. So does anyone have some fun weekend plans? Now, what I'm going to do is, in my little bundle here, because I'm not sure where it is for my trip, I am going to go ahead and grab the 3x3. This is the incentive stamp of the month, which you get a $60 order. If you place a $60 order, I am very carefully trying to get this out because I like to save these packages for when I do my SVGs. I like to have my extra SVGs, put these in there and stick them in my pocket of my stamp set. I'm going to try to save that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this piece of acetate, and I'm just going to cover up. This is just, that was on the other side of this. And I'm going to just, instead of cleaning my stamps, I'm just going to move them over. And then I think what we'll do is we'll do this one. I like this bubbly thing like this. We'll do it right like this, have it go off. And I'll grab this big one here and this one here. Let's grab this guy first. And then the acetate just comes up with it. Oh, it didn't because I had my magnet on it, I guess. And then I'm going to move this acetate up a little ways. We're going to put this one right like there. And I'll move this acetate over here. I'll grab this little bubble. Maybe I'll stick him right. Oh, I don't know where I want to stick him. Let's stick him right there. Okay. Just the usual chores and squeezing in some crafting. Yeah, that's kind of seems to be a lot of, I think, everybody's weekends anymore. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize the acetate stuck to it. Don't do that. All right, we got to clean that off before we make a mess. Yeah, I've got the normal chores to do. So hopefully I will get up early enough that I can get our walk in right away. And then I can do those things, because it seems like what happens is I tend to find myself doing all my chores, which, you know, is adulting of me, of course. And then I find it's 1 o'clock and I barely got any fun crafting done. And I try to get I try to do a lot of my crafting. I try to do everything that I need to do upstairs on Saturdays, so that I can spend the evenings with Tom downstairs. But it's fine. I will do what I can. All right, I'm going to wipe these off just because I don't think I'm going to use the big ones. I am going to move this up a little bit. Well, maybe we'll use one more big one. And I'm going to grab this, and we're just going to we're going to move it up. And I'm just going to kind of put a couple of them right here. And I'm going to grab the little tiny bubbles, and we'll put them right over there because we need to fill in just a tiny bit more. We'll take that one off. And I think this is fun because I like the fact that this little bubble stamp set can add a lot of texture to your background. You can make a fun background with this. Okay, now I'm trying to be careful because my stamp is on the edge. There we go. That works. I have a little bubble there, but that's okay. All right. So look at that fun. See how fun that is? You took off your own. Oh, that's really fun. I actually had a kind of a fun, I got to see my son today too. I stopped in at our local gas station on my way home from work to pick up some ice cream because they make the best ice cream. If you live in the Midwest and you've never had ice cream from Quick Trip or Quick Start, if you're in Iowa, get some. It's my favorite ice cream. And I stopped and picked some up because I want to eat some. And I got the new flavor. It's called Snowfall or Snow Sparkle or something. I think it's white ice cream with peppermint. So I'm going to have some of that when we're done with the live. And I just pulled in. And as I was pulling in, I was keeping an eye on traffic because, you know, it's the weekend. Traffic is crazy. And my kid was getting gas. And I was like, hey, kiddo. So we talked for a few minutes. He was going to go see his girlfriend. All right. Now we got the stars. And we got a bunch of stars. I was jokingly going to call my boss and tell him that I was sick. I was like, when I had to run some errands today, and I ran into people, and I'm like, I'm going to call my boss, who's fabulous. If I had told him I was going to take some time off, I was going to go home for the day, he would have been fine with it. But since I was gone last weekend, I did not do that. But it was 70 degrees today here in Iowa. It was just beautiful. I mean, I am a winter fall person, but it was just a really nice, beautiful day. All right, I've got all the stars lined up, and I'm going to grab Rosy Cheeks. So it was nice. I took Pup for a walk this morning early, which is my normal Friday, and these are a little drier. This is not a Stellar pad. Oh yeah, Sandy, I cannot wait to try it. I think it's white with yes, snow mint. Thank you, Brandon. That's it. I got it. That's what I got tonight. Thank you, Brandon. I've got it in my freezer, and I'm gonna have some after this live. But we did our little walk this morning, and then I came home at lunch. And some mornings, some Fridays, I try to eat quick and then take him for a little walk around the block, since he doesn't get his normal long walks in on Fridays like he usually does during the week. But today I put him, those are good too, Sandy. I would love those. That would be yummy. I haven't had those in a long time. Other than I have to be careful so they don't hurt my teeth. And you have to check out Brandon. I saw Brandon posted a cute card today using some of this release. So check that out. I know I shared it. I saw it on social media because I thought I don't know if I gave you a heart or if I just gave you a love, but it was pretty cool. I'm just trying to I think what we're going to do is we're going to mask off that side over there. So we have some more of the sparkles there because we have lots of sparkles for this one. Anyway, so I took him for a ride at lunch, which he was ecstatic about because he loves going for rides in Mama's car. That is one of his favorite things. All I have to do is say, should we go for a ride in the Tahoe? And he goes running. He can't wait to go out and go for a ride in Mama's Tahoe. Oh, yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Like I said, I am excited to try it. I mean, if you really don't need to go if you don't want to go tonight, Sandy, I will text you after the live and give you a thumbs up if it's worth it. I like my favorite is their brookie dough. If you've never had their brookie dough, oh, that is my favorite. But they only have the brookie dough in the small size, and that saddens me because I want the half-gallon size. That is my favorite. And I tried it because during Dairy Month, a lot of times you can buy one, get one free. So that's what I did, and I tried it, and it's like brownie and cookie dough ice cream, and it's just my favorite. But I do like their vanilla because I'm like my dad, I'm my dad's daughter. I like a tin roof sundae. So, all right. So I just moved these around a little bit. Like I said, this is too tall of a magnet there. So I hope, is my camera a little better tonight? I tried to have my desk, instead of having my desk touch my shelving unit here, I moved it away a little bit tonight. So it's going to probably still shake just because it's not a perfect setup. You know, I mean, it's not a hard camera. It's on a shelving unit, but I think it's a little better than it was because I was right up against the edge of it. So you guys have to let me know. So I do need to order some of the Stellar inks because of the new ones. I don't remember all the colors that are the ones that I don't have yet that are new colors that have been, like if it's all of them or not, I don't remember, but I do really like them. All right. So I'm trying to very hard because I have that piece of Post-it note there. There's a little bit of a gap. Okay. We have a little spot right here. So I think I'm just going to move this over a little bit more. And I'm going to just grab a couple of these. We'll just move them over. I'm thinking we'll put this one right there. And I think I want to do this one. No, I already did that one there. Let's do this one right here. Just to add a little bit on that side. I feel like we need a bursty one right here. This is what we'll do. We'll do this one right here. Okay. There we go. It is better. Okay, thank you. I was like, just before I went live, I'm like, I should, take that one off of there too. I should pull it away just a hair. And, I made them a little, pushed a little hard on that one too there, but that's okay. Okay, so there we go. That was Rosy Cheeks. Let's pull away our tape here and then we will show. So we've got our pink and cream. Look at how that's fun. Oh, I'm sorry, Cordelia. I have one right across the street from me from work. At the time I used to work there. At the time they built it, it was the biggest one in Iowa. So we have a Quick Trip, the KWIKTRAP, and I don't know exactly for sure where you are, Cordelia. You don't have to say what state you're in. But here in Iowa, we have the Quick Trip is a version. So those, if you are listening and you're not from the Midwest, Quick Trip is in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And I live in Iowa, and there's already a Quick Trip with a Q. Oh yeah, I am kind of too. It's 45 minutes pretty much. That's where I grew up too, in northern Minnesota. 45 minutes from Duluth, 45 minutes from the cities. Anyway, so there's a Quick Trip with a Q in Iowa. So there, I have Quick Star. Oh, I will volunteer as tribute too. I'll fight you for it, Sandy. How about that? Sound good? Okay, this one looks like it doesn't go right there, but it does. Okay. All right. So, all right, we got this part. Now I am trying to stay away from the iconic hat, broom, and wands parts. The tiara could be anything, you know. So like I said, I'm trying to kind of experiment how you can do this if you weren't a big fan of witches and things like that. If you wanted to, I also would volunteer as tribute for you. But I think it's kind of a fun way to do this. I'm a huge fan. So I'm thinking, the sky was noticed together we're unlimited. Friends don't melt under pressure, and you're as solid as they come wicked. Our friendship is unlimited. I'm going to do the Our Friendship is Unlimited. That's what I wanted to do. Now, there are SVGs available. I did not do any of those this time because I thought it would be fun. Oh, I just used the rest of my tape run. All right, well, let's put that away and we'll switch to tear and tape. I thought for sure it was still full. Okay. I don't remember where I was talking about. That's just kind of the way it has been for me. So let's see. Last weekend, I went crafting in Minnesota, like you guys knew, because I was gone. Sean's place down here is an hour away from me. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. So the quick trip we're talking about, Cordelia, is Midwest. It starts with a K. They're founded in Wisconsin. They were founded in La Crosse, Wisconsin, which is only about an hour and a half from me. And then they expanded into Minnesota and Iowa. And it's basically, you can buy groceries there. Like I buy the hamburger there, bread. I just bought my lettuce for my tacos for tomorrow. They have amazing chicken salad, which I have introduced to many of my friends. I used to buy my steak there, but now our grocery store is starting to get some really good steaks back in. So I've been buying, I like to try to get the T-bones instead because then my pup can have a bone. But it's like, and milk, butter, dairy, it's a lot of dairy. And they manufacture a lot of those things in La Crosse for their company. The company itself is a really nice company. They do a profit sharing with their employees that work there after they've been there a year, and you go to corporate meetings around Thanksgiving time. You get to meet the owners, and the owners shake every single person's hand. Well, they did when I worked there anyway. I think they still do. And then there's all sorts of fun stuff and incentives. So yes, bread, eggs, bananas, butter, milk, ice cream is pretty good. I mean, I think their half gallons are $4.99. And if I go to, hold on one second. I'm going to block whoever that is. I think that was a bot. It looked like a bot. I'm sorry if it wasn't, if you weren't a bot and I blocked you, but it looked kind of like a bot to me. But it's my go-to for a lot of that stuff. Okay, I am going to use this. Our Friendship is Unlimited. I'm going to do it on white, and I'm going to go ahead and use some of Not Your Mama's, which was our card base, because that is going to at least tie in a little bit more of that white that we have. And I think we're going to stamp a sentiment on the inside as well. But I love it. I love it. Now, I will tell you, and this is a controversial thing, but it's okay. I have my opinion, and everyone else. The take-home meals, they are pretty good. And so are the pizzas. But I will tell you, Brandon, the pizzas aren't as good as when I worked there. So I made like the perfect pizza. I'm going to go ahead and do green because we're going to put it on the pink. So they were the first. Oh, shoot. I forgot this was a Stellar ink pad. I did not need to push this hard. So we're just going to do this gently. They no longer take pennies. Like you can't even give them pennies. So they are rounding down. Like, so today when I went in, it was like $8.98, for example. And I had a $10 bill, but then of course I would get my dollar back. And I mean, it's not that, but you know, I would have paid those extra 2 cents. I had my exact change, and I am trying to use my change up just because if they're going to stop taking change, might as well use it. So I gave them, it was $8.95. And then the last 3 cents was in my favor. So it is, yes, oh no, Sandy, that is hands down. I will tell you that if I had made you a Quick Star pizza, you would have said best pizza, because I had this way of knowing how my ovens worked perfectly, that I could cook them at that, just because, I mean, when I worked, I would, on a Friday or Saturday night, I made pizza because they're like convection ovens. So the thin crust pizzas literally took 3 minutes to bake. And that sounds like ridiculous, but it's true. and I knew the best way to cook them, and I knew which ovens were the best, if they were a more frozen pizza or if they were thawed out pizza, and if it was the thin crust or the thick. But Casey's is, I have our local place, and then I have that is like our just in Gothenburg, and it's in a couple spots, and then Casey's. We go back between the fourth. And now that Casey's has their thin crust, sorry, I needed to take a drink there. So there we go. We got our Friendship is Unlimited. I'm going to go ahead and add that. I'm going to use some more Terran tape because I don't necessarily always like to use wet glue on our paper, because sometimes I'm not the best at, I'll move it. Does that make sense? It's not that it doesn't stick. It's just that I budget and then I miss it, and then it's not straight. So I'm going to use some Terran tape. So I'm going to do our Friendship is Unlimited. And I'm going to put it down right here in this corner, and hopefully that's straight. Let's see. Do I still have my I don't know what I did with my ruler, my T ruler. So let's use this little ruler and see if I got it straight. It's straight enough. Okay. Yeah, they do. I think it's because this is just right after dinner, right? So here is where you can totally judge this up. You could add some of this other, if you were going to do this with the theme of the movie or the play, you could use the hat and the tiara, the broom and the wand, any of those things to do our Friendship is Unlimited. I'm kind of liking, yes, a piece of peach and ice cream. I'm kind of liking the plain image of it because I like the pattern paper. We are going to stamp a sentiment in here. I like the unexpected surprise of those. However, the odds and ends is still available, and you also could grab some of those, and you could grab one of these images, and you know, you could do the tornado, or you could do the crown, or you could use the Best of Friends or the Witch stamp set if you really wanted to. The Witch or the Best of Friends, which is in stock, or if you were lucky enough to get the Wizard of Oz book stamp set and get the not the stamp set, but the box, and you have that stamp set, which I don't want to show you since this is not in stock. You could use one of those images. Anything you wanted. You could also do one of the pairs. We could also do one of these little pairs. But I'm going to leave it kind of blank because I like that. And then if I change my mind and send this to somebody specific, I can put something on the front of it. All right. So we need a sentiment on the inside. I'm going to grab another one of these. But I'm also going to look and see. The Witch has a nice size, which I know we were using the box. But I like the fact that our Friendship is Unlimited. You could do Witching You All the Best. You could do The Magic is in You. But I'm thinking of the Best of Friends. I want to pull and get the little dog too. Yes, you do. And Sandy, I don't know if you know this, but after we did, I think I told you this in person last weekend. I lost my little Toto because look at how little Toto is. He's so little. And I lost him, and I was so sad. And I was like, you guys, I can't find him. I might have to buy a whole new set just so I can have Toto. And it ended up being that I do my new things in clear plastic bins, and he had just fallen in the bottom of my bin, like my new releases and stuff. And then I'm just going to do this. You'll always have a friend in me. And I think that is what I like. I'm going to do. And then we're going to do this in the pink on the green, because we did the green on the front. Now I could have done this on white and put it back in there, but I'm going to leave it because we've got the white background. Oops. We're going to do this in pink. Now, like I said, this is the dye ink pad, so mine probably need to be re-inked a little bit. I didn't even look to see if this was straight. And I feel like I moved it. Oh, well, I think it moved a little bit. It's okay. There's a tiny bit of a shadow if you look very closely. Okay, yeah, if you look really close. There's a little bit of a shadow, but it actually kind of works. So here's our first card. We've got 20 minutes. And since I was early, we will go and do a little bit more. Maybe we'll use something else. But we've got this fun little fun fold. Our friendship is unlimited, where we use the pattern paper. We use the stamps to add some little unexpected. And then you've always have a friend in me. And this will fit in an A2 card. So just kind of a fun version of a card. You have plenty of room to write your sentiment, in here. That if you wrote across the front and you just wanted to stay down a little bit lower right there, you'd have plenty of room. You also could have left these blank and written your message on the inside. Okay, there's card number 1. All right, let's see. I think to go along with the green theme, let's grab the Smoke and Stardust dual foil. We're not going to foil tonight because my foiling machine is not plugged in. It's I worked on getting a new surge protector so that I could have one that I could turn on and off. But we're going to use this one. It has the green. Thank you. Yes, you could add the good witch on the panel too. Yep, you could add both witches. You could add one good on the one and bad on the other, which would be fun. You could put, I'll show you what I'm talking about. You could put the good witch here, and then you could actually just barely fit her in there, or you could put her in on this side and have it covered. You wouldn't see it if you did it just right, or you could do it so you wouldn't even see her. So you could have both of them, which would be fun too. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down. And I love the rainbow pattern on this one, but we're going to use this green and gold one. And I am going to go ahead and cut it down just a little bit more. Because like I said, I do like having a little bit of a border. 5 1/4. I'm going to cut off the bottom because I like the lighter color. Okay, so this is the non-foilable side. Okay, I must have something stuck to my trimmer because that was an ugly cut. I have some glue stuck to it. All right, we'll do that tomorrow. And I am going to go ahead and grab the same green cardstock here that I have leftovers. We're going to cut that down, I think. Actually, yes, we're going to cut that down. Okay. So I will cut this down to a 4 1/4 by 5 panel. Or by 5 1/2, I guess I should say. Yep, there we go. And then, because we're going with the green and pink theme, what we'll do is we'll kind of do the same thing, but we're going to put this on an actual card base. But we're going to add, how do I want to do this? I'm going to add a flap to this one too, okay? And we're going to do that with, we'll add a little bit of this beautiful pink satin that came in the box. So I'm going to cut this down to about 1 inch. Okay. And then I'm going to do, because I'm going to do about 3 1/2 inches. Actually, we will do 4, and then I'll do a 1/2 inch. So we're going to have this go across the front, but we're going to have it flat. Maybe. Yeah, we'll have it flat. So we're going to do a 1/2 inch, and then it doesn't really matter. I mean, they're both shimmery and shiny, but I kind of always kind of go, you can, if you look at how this card is, it's kind of, this is to me is the back side, and we'll just do a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. Sorry if I'm shaking. Kind of aggressively scoring it. I couldn't think of the word. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put it down like this. And it's just going to be a little bit of a fun flap that's going to kind of come and just be fun. So the other thing we could do is you could put a little hole in here and you have it tucked in, but I'm just going to have this fun little flap on it. Maybe we'll add something to it. So let's get some fun tape on it because we got to get this all ready, put it on our card base. Okay. Yep. So score it tape. And I'm going to go ahead and just line it up here. This looks like a good spot for it. All right, because this is going to go on our card base. And then we're going to go ahead and glue this part down. Here. So how many of you are going to the theater to see this release? I probably won't go to the theater. I'll probably have to wait for it to come out. That's just me. I don't go to theaters that often. I should go to it, but not sure if I will get to it. We only have a couple options. And I think I'm going to do the dark up at the top as well. I know some people have already got their tickets purchased. There we go. Got this fun little flap right here. Okay. All right, card base. I'm going to put it on my card base. I honestly really want you guys to think about it because you don't have to think, I hate to say this, that's super, super hard about measurements all the time. A lot of times, it's just paper. So just measure. If you don't have the measurements, sometimes I print out the measurements. And then, like here when I'm live, I don't always remember them or I got to check back to them, which is fine. But sometimes it's just, go with your gut and what you like. Okay. I really missed my tape gun. All right. Get that done. All righty. I can trim off if there's a little white there. Okay. So there's a kind of a fun little flappy thing. I'm not sure what we're going to do here. I'm thinking maybe stamping a sentiment on both sides would be fun. I'm also thinking that maybe a circle here with something would be fun. Like one of these images, for example. Let's maybe cut out, I'm going to use the odds and ends here, and let's cut out her crown. I think that would be kind of a fun color. And we're going to cut that out of this blush cardstock to put on there. So like I said, we did use the inspiration box, but because we got done, we're now adding some other items. If you have them in your stash, fantastic. And I think I'm also going to grab, there is these little diamond pieces that were in the odds and ends that they're to make the sparkles on the little shoes here. But I'm going to go ahead and put them down and we're going to get a little bit of that. I'm going to do that on the pink too, to add a little dimension. And this might add a little shaking because this is a little bit, well, I have to play with it just a little more. I got some videos to tape this weekend, so see if I can experiment with my camera angles a little bit more. Okay, so got our little sparkles. That one went flying. But I'm going to see if you can see this. Look at, sorry. See that fun little detail on there? And then, of course, there's the sparkle. So we've got the little, but I'm thinking we need to do something to it. So I'm thinking I'm going to cut a circle. And then, of course, we got the sparkles that we can add to it. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is add the sparkles. Now you could do, I'm going to do this. You could also do some crystals. I'm going to do the sparkles right there. Grab my little wand here. Oh, I also want to do a quick shout out to Natalia, who works at the store. It was her birthday today. For those of you who never don't know who Natalia is, she helps make some of our glazes and things like that. If you haven't seen her, she comes up sometimes and helps with shipping, but she works downstairs with Miss Sharon. And she is an amazing lady, and it was her birthday today. So I wanted to wish her happy birthday I mean, I had Jess wish her happy birthday for me today. It's also National Pickle Day, which is one of mine and Jess's favorite foods. So I had to tell Jess happy pickle day. All right, so what I'm going to do is, if I can quickly find a circle die of some sort. All right, I'm just going to grab one because it doesn't matter. This is our old doily one. This looks perfect. And I'm going to cut this piece of green cardstock because I want to add a little bit more green. I could do white, but you don't see the white as much. So I'm going to do the green. And I'm going to make sure it's nice centered there, because we're doing the green and the pink, like I said, tonight. I have a funny story about pink, and Mom, I hope you don't care, but I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to tell it's about you. So my oldest is a girl, and when my daughter was born, my mom texted me and says, "Is it okay if I buy her something pink?" Because I didn't wear a lot of pink growing up. I wear pink now. I wear pink a lot, actually, because especially not this pink, but dark pink. Bread and butter, okay. No to sweet. Bread and butter, okay, but I don't like them. Dill are the best. I save my pickle for dessert. When you get a good pickle at a restaurant, it's my last thing I eat. And I've shared this story with my son too recently. He always we'd go to the Golden Arches, and he would pull his pickle off and throw it down on his plate, on his tray. And I would be like, "Are you going to eat that?" And he's like, "No." So I would eat it. So I stopped asking him and just started grabbing it and eating it, because I love pickles. I don't think you can have too many pickles on a hamburger. And I just recently learned that he really likes pickles. He used to always pluck them off so that I could eat them. Isn't that the sweetest thing? He's the sweetest little boy. So we've got this kind of a fun card. Now I think we need to add a little sentiment to it. So we're going to go to our Bubbles and Broomsticks stamp set. I have a mess here. And see what we got for choices. Where did I put it? Anybody seen my stamp set? Oh, how about right here? I think we're going to do The Sky Was Never the Limit. Cordelia, I literally just learned this like in the last, I'm going to do Our Friendship Defies Gravity. Literally just learned that in the last, and then I think I'm going to stamp this one on the other side. The sky was never our limit. Recently, literally, like in the last 3 months, I learned this. And I was like, "What are you talking about? You always used to tell me you didn't like pickles." I thought he told me when he was a little boy, he didn't like the hot pickles. Does that make sense? That the pickles would be hot on his burger? Or maybe he just recently really did decide he likes pickles, and that's just what he's telling me, because he's the sweetest young man in the world and he's the best. I mean, everyone has the best, but okay. Our Friendship Defies Gravity. It's going to go right there. Oops. And I think we're going to go a little crazy here. I'm going to try to heat emboss it with the Spellbound, okay? So now I got to pull it this way and see if I did it. I'm going to kind of look at it. It looks close. I might pull it up just a hair. Nope, that was the wrong decision. Put that down for a minute on there. I'm going to put it down a little bit, because then I can put some gems up above it instead of straight on the center. Okay. That looks pretty good. Okay, we're going to grab this. I'm going to throw some heat embossing on it. And I'm going to grab my embossing ink. I'm going to stamp this a couple of times, because this is got kind of a finish on it. This cardstock does. And of course, there's a piece of tape right there. So I can make sure so I'm going to stamp it down. I think I need to do a little bit more right there. Please cross your fingers, you guys, that I did enough. Our friendship defies gravity. And I had a piece of scratch paper as well right here. And I'm going to grab the Spellbound. And I'm just going to plop it in. That's close. I think I hit it right there. There, that looks better. Okay. Thank you. My son is a sweet young man. I mean, he's a young man now. He's a man. He's not a boy. He's going to be 27 in a few weeks. He's my baby. Okay. Now, oh, I did not plug my heat gun in. Okay. That looks good. Okay. That looks good. I'm going to unplug this right away because until I get my stuff put away, if I am not careful, I will turn that on and well, it's laying on the floor. All right, we're going to grab some gems here. I apologize. I don't know if these are in stock. I know a lot of our flat gems are. Oh, I don't know how that, yeah, I don't know how that happens, Cordelia. It doesn't. These are the light pink of the flat back. I'm going to add some of those to our card here too. And of course, I said I was going to stamp a sentiment on the inside to make it fun. I didn't do that yet. So we'll do that before we end. So let's grab our gold. I think I'm going to go ahead and even though we added those sparkles, I'm going to add a gem to the center of each of those. I'm going to add a gem right here. And then, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That gives us our odd number. And of course, I had to throw them all over the place. So we'll put 1 here. 1 here, which is going to kind of hide the fact that I cut those sparkles. But that's okay. They're still there. That a little bit. I think I made some glue there. That needs some more glue right there. I didn't add enough glue. Okay, my thing is not. There we go. Oh my goodness, you guys. I think it's time for me to be done. I'm throwing stuff all over the place. Got a lot going on this week. A little bit more glue right there. Well, you're going to have to forgive me a second, but I'm going to quickly pick these up. Because if I don't, I will knock them on the floor, and that's wasteful. All righty. I'll pour them back in my jar. Oh, of course, I still dropped them. I need to quit while I'm ahead. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this tonight. We're going to stamp our last sentiment. Even though I already put my gems on there and it's going to make it kind of wonky, we will make it work. It will work because we're going to put it down right there. And my gems are in there, but that's okay. We're just going to put this little sentiment in, and I'm not going to heat emboss or anything. We're just going to do the sky was never our limit. Oh, of course, that's not going to work that way because my door is in the way. I'll put this sentiment right there. And I'm going to stamp it just with the Later Gator ink. more time. There we go. Awesome. It worked. Oh, I love how that sky turned out. Thank you. Okay. So there are other ways you could totally judge this up. You could, again, put the witch on here. We could add some of the embossing. We could totally have put some of the washi tape. There's this one. There is this one. We could also do some dual foil on this one. Cut this down and put a strip. I'm kind of leaving it plain. I hope that's okay with you guys. I'm liking the plainness of letting the paper itself shine through. And making kind of a simple, fun card. Oh, Cordelia, I will definitely have a bite for you tonight. How does that sound? So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. Next week, we will play with probably the stamp of the month, or I don't know, something else. The paper pad of the month. We'll do something else with the subscriptions. I do have the other stamps coming to me. They should be here on Monday. That heat embossing on this one a little bit is why that's warped. But here are our 2 cards tonight. I hope you had some fun playing with the pink and golds, or pink and green, and friendship cards. So I appreciate you guys all so much. You have a great night. Please give me a thumbs up, a like. You can find me at sugarcardsbycandi on YouTube if you would like to follow along. I will have some more videos coming up, more that will be on my channel that are probably edited out, and sometimes with music. So I'm trying to keep those cards, trying to keep the video camera recording while I am creating anymore. So I hope you guys have a great night and a great rest of your weekend, a great weekend, and I will see you all next week. Okay? Have a good night. Bye now.